Hey, welcome everybody. Good morning, brokers. Thank you for joining me for another great, awesome, wealthy winning Wednesday. Woohoo! Who is excited to learn about recruiting agents today? You got your pen and paper ready to take notes and put your plan into action. We're going to be starting in just a moment. And let me get this slideshow up. But first, let's take a moment to each introduce ourselves. Let us know where you're joining us from. Okay, we have Paul Bermudez from Dallas says, hi guys. Hey, Paul. Thanks for joining us. Shakita Duncan from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Welcome. And then we got Janice Carrasco from Hudson Valley, New York. Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us today. As new people come on, be sure to let us know where you're from. All right, we have a great crowd today. Brian Mullins, happy Wednesday from Oklahoma City. Woohoo! Yeah. Where are you joining us from? Okay. All right, we got Lauren Haskins from St. Louis, Missouri. Welcome, Lauren. Thanks for joining us today. All right, let's get started here. Let me get my slide presentation going. Today we have a baseball theme. How awesome is that? We couldn't have thought of a better theme for the spring and summer, right? Recruit and retain top talent, scout, sign, and play the right agents at your brokerage firm. And today we're starting on Module 1. So today will be action-packed. We'll have a lot of great stuff for you. In addition, we will be talking about, because we actually have 10 modules. That's right. We had so much information that instead of giving you teensy little bites and trying to pack it all into 1 hour, we thought we would just give you all the information that you need to know completely and thoroughly. And so it is going to go for 10 sessions. So be sure to stay tuned for each session as we move along here. Okay, welcome. First of all, I want to say thank you, brokerage owners, managers, and leaders for taking time out of your busy work schedule today. I know you have a million things pulling at you between your transactions in progress, your agents, your recruiting you're trying to do, profitability, running the business. But today you have chosen to take 1 hour out of your schedule to take off the salesperson hat and put on the business owner hat and work on your business instead of in your business. So awesome job. Kudos to you, everybody. And who today here is ready to hit a grand slam? Whew. Knock it out of the park. All right, that's what we're going to do today. Today is going to be a brand new masterclass series. We already have 3 of them. The first one is Scale Up Your Brokerage Blueprints to Build Your Empire Profitably. Our second one is Be the Boss and Dominate Your Market, which is all about innovation. And then lastly, we have Drive Profits to the Max, Accelerate Your Real Estate Brokerage, and Push the Needle. And today starts a brand new masterclass series. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Today, we're not just going to play the game, we're going to change it in a major way by actually learning about the science behind running and operating a successful real estate brokerage, right? Not just going from transaction to transaction, but actually taking time to look at the big picture and work on the business. A little bit about our company, MBA Broker Consultants. We have a membership program. We offer consultations, business plans, workshops, and of course, online courses to you and other brokerage owners. So if you know of anybody else that can benefit, be sure to send the word along. We love your referrals. All right, so today's topic is the first in a series of 10. We're calling it the first inning is a winning team culture. Woohoo! Who is excited about that? Okay, and Paul says me. Yay. Let me just go back here because I just want to give a little overview of these. We don't want to spend a lot of time, but our second inning, we're calling it inning, but our second module is the compensation value package. Then we're going to go into the farm team and training, which is all about your campaign and recruiting with a specialized campaign. And then we're going to talk about marketing. That's a fourth. And number 5 is always be recruiting. We'll talk about methods that are best for ongoing recruiting. Okay, so next, module 6 will be about onboarding your agents once you hire them. Module 7 will be all about agent production. Module 8 will be retaining those agents. Module 10 is what happens in the next phase. Okay, when you have agents who are at the top of their game and they're sort of getting burned out, they might be good at production. How do you move them into management? So that's about promotion. And then lastly, we call that game over. And that's, unfortunately, we do have to talk about agent termination. That is a necessary and important aspect of the whole agent recruiting and retention piece of the puzzle. So anyway, those are our 10 modules. A little bit about me. I think most of you already know me, but I earned my MBA degree a few years ago. And ever since then, I have been very enthusiastic and excited to give back to our real estate brokerage industry by teaching all of the Fortune 500 best business concepts I learned and how we can implement those in our brokerage to make a huge difference for each of us. Also, you probably already know, I've had my license for many years. Okay, over 30. Yes, I'm that old. And I'm the broker owner of California Coast and Country Homes in California. So we're going to open up with a really important quote today, and this is from Jackie Robinson. He is definitely a person that has endured or pioneered many awesome life experiences, which might have not been so great at the time, right? Being one of the first African-American players to play in the major leagues and all the persecution he endured. But yet he used that to motivate him and to go on and be an inspiration for other people. So today his number 42 is looked at as an icon because he always was positive, and he took that, what life had thrown at him, and he used that to propel him to the next level. And his quote today is, "A life is not important except for the impact it has on other lives." And I think that's just so touching because, at the end of the day, profits are great, production is great, and yes, we need it, and yes, it's the focus of business. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about how many other people's lives did we impact and influence for the better. And that's going to be our legacy, our lasting memory that lives on after we're long gone, isn't it? And doing a great job with your agents is a wonderful way to create a legacy of people that you are mentoring, you're training them, and you're helping them move to the next level. All right, so let's get started with the first inning, a winning team culture. I think we almost need some organ music or something, don't we? Take me out to the ball game kind of music. All right, so today's topic is going to break down into 4 different sessions. So, or shall we call a section, I guess. Number 1 is production secrets. We'll go behind the scenes and take a look at what's really going on, and we'll start exploring the science of the business of agent production. Number 2 is we'll look at agent motivation. Why do agents join your brokerage, and what are they looking for? And number 3, we'll go to an attractive culture, which is all about making yourself or your company attractive enough that you don't have to beg people to come to your company, that they'll come just because they're excited and they'll see you're on fire and they'll want to come and join you. And then lastly, we're going to talk about value alignment, which is the right fit in culture and values between the agents and the brokerage. It sort of ties into the attractive culture as well. All right, so who's ready to get started? Okay, Janice says refresh your page. Okay, can everybody see the activity workbook there? I hope everybody can see that. If not, let me know. If your computer is stuck, you might need to log off, log back on again. Okay, so today we have an activity workbook. Okay, good. You can see it. Oh, Janice says no. Might have to log off and log back in again then. I'm going to go ahead and start us off with a file share. Okay, this is called Recruit Agents Module 1 Worksheet. So what we'll be doing is each week we'll have an activity worksheet. At the end of your 10 modules, you can put all those worksheets together and then you'll have your own activity workbook. How cool is that? All right, let me know if you can download this. Okay, all right, I got it. Okay, good. Let me know if everybody can download the activity workbook. It is a PDF file there for you. I'll pause just a moment to make sure everybody can download that. Okay, you got it. Okay, good. Wonderful. Perfect. Okay, Paul says yes. Michaela says yes, thank you. Brian Mullins got it. Okay, awesome. Let's keep going here. Number 1, production secrets. I was going to call this statistics or facts, but I decided to call it secrets because these are things that are little known but should be known by all of us. Before we dive into this section, let's start with a poll. Okay, let's just find out a little bit more about you and what is your primary motive for recruiting agents. Is it A, to increase your profitability, your brokerage? Is it B, pivot yourself out of production? Some of us are in the production mode and we want to take off that production hat and put on the business owner hat, the entrepreneurship hat. How do we make that transition? Well, by recruiting more agents who can take our place in production. Or is our primary motive C, to influence and impact agents? Now, there are no wrong answers, so go ahead and answer whatever you think is best for you and your company. Okay, we're doing good here. A, increased profitability is winning in the lead with 75%. B, pivot yourself out of production. Oh, it just changed. That went down to 20%. Increased profitability went up to 60%. And lastly, influence and impact agents. Good job, everyone. Went to 20%. We're going to go ahead and end the poll now. Hopefully everybody had a chance to participate. I know some of us are listening on the phone or maybe driving in our car and we're not able to complete the polls. And if so, that's fine too. So we'll go ahead and end the poll there. Got some great results. Why, oh, why? Now, if you're like me, some mornings you come to your office and you look at the problems that you have to solve as a brokerage owner, and you think to yourself, why, oh, why? Why is this happening? Why do I have all these problems? I know one of the big problems, I had a recent poll in one of the groups there. One of the problems that came up that a few people identified with is drama between agents, right? Maybe you have a top producer who's causing you some issues because every time they're making a sale, maybe they're aggressive and you really don't want to let that agent go because they're bringing in good production to your company. So you're sort of torn, you're on the fence, but that agent really does not fit your value alignment of your company. they really don't stand for the same values that you have, and you're worried about them getting you into a lawsuit or getting an ethics complaint filed, but somehow you just feel like you have to hang on to that agent, because if you let him go, then who's going to drive production at your company, right? So whatever the problem or the frustration is at your brokerage, there's always one answer, and that is recruit more agents. Okay, everybody say it with me. Recruit more agents. Why? Because hiring more agents gives you leverage to fire the bad agents. Now let's face it, if all of your production is hinging around one or two key agents, you're afraid to fire that agent. But if you go out and you recruit 10 more agents and you're training a handful of them to become your next top producer, then you really don't need to hang on to those bad agents anymore, right? Now, when I say bad agent, I'm not saying that person is bad. I'm just saying they're not a good value fit for your company and what your vision and mission is, right? So you don't have to hang on out of desperation. As a matter of fact, one top producer can make all your headaches go away. One new top producer, right? So never stop searching and hiring. You're always looking out for that diamond in the rough. That's why we call this recruiting the top talent. And what do the sports teams do? No matter how good they are, they're always scouting and looking for that next top player on the team. And that's what we need to be doing. You're always in recruiting mode. And if there's one main takeaway from today, it would be always be in recruiting mode. Always be recruiting. Okay, now let's take a moment, look at some of the stats. Now we've all heard of the 80-20 rule, right? The Pareto principle. And that's where 20% of the people actually produce 80% of the results. And that has been a good, rule of thumb in many industries and many areas. But even for ourselves, 20% of our efforts lead to 80% of the results. And it's no different with your agents. 20% of your agents account for 80% of your revenue. And we could even take it a step farther. If you break down your numbers, you might find that 10% of your agents account for 90% of your revenue. So if you could pull out your agent production stats, maybe not right now, maybe you'll have to do this later, but if you could pull out your stats and really just analyze the figures and see what's going on, let's give an example of that, okay? I hope everybody can see this. I hope it's not too small in there for you. But what we've done is we've looked at a typical real estate brokerage with 30 agents. Now, I use 30 agents because really 30 agents is the minimum you need to be able to actually turn a profit without you as the brokerage bringing in the bulk of the production. 30 agents is what sets you free, if you will, and takes you to the next level. It makes you a real company. It turns you from a hobby into a real company that can produce on its own without you, holding up the paying the office overhead with your own production, basically, okay? So let's take a look at these numbers. I'm going to turn on my whiteboard here so we can. Okay, whiteboard. Okay, so here we have tier 1. Now we see at the top, tier 1, we have agents who are closing over 30 transactions per year. We only have 7 of those agents. And then we have tier 2, and those are the agents who are closing, in our example, 8 to 21 transactions per year. But basically, these are your second level agents. And then you have your tier 3 agents. Those are the very part-timers closing 1 to 4 transactions a year. And then at this company, we have tier 4 agents, which you won't often hear about in real estate circles. So this is something that I actually created, but I call these the non-producers. These are people who are just hanging their license for whatever reason. So let's dive in, take a look at each of these, and talk a little bit more about each of these 4 segments known as tiers. The main thing you want to do is when you get your stats out and you get your financials out and you're really crunching these numbers, I suggest use last year as an example, use the full year of last year. What you want to do is you want to look for trends in production and agents. Now, when you actually do this yourself, instead of saying agent number 1 or agent number 30, you can actually write in your agents' names here. And you can actually make a little Excel chart and then click on the graph feature. It'll graph it out for you like that. Okay. Okay, any questions about the graph? Because I'm going to go on now and talk a little more about each of these tiers. So now we've got what we call our agent composition. As we said, tier 1 agents, we call those our superstar. Those are our top producers. Sometimes they're called mega agents or cappers. And that's the top 20% of our agents. Those are the people who are producing 80% of our sales production. And again, we said it's that good old 80-20 rule, right? What is so great about these agents is these are the naturally born salespeople. They have good work habits, and because of their constant drive and their assertive or even aggressive nature, they financially support the brokerage. These are people who are driven to win, and they like nothing more than the thrill of victory, of closing transactions, winning listings, and no matter what industry they're in, they will probably rise to the top. These are the cream of the crop people, and they're just naturally talented, and they probably don't need a lot of coaching from you, honestly, right? And then we have our tier 2 agents. Those are the agents who are, we'll call them seasoned agents. Those are the mid producers. I would say about 40% of your agents fit into that category, and they make up, I said 15% of sales production. It could be more depending on, where your agents fall. They might not follow the 80-20 rule exactly. So what about these agents do we like? Well, we like the ones who are steady and they're learning how to get better. Now, these are the agents that you should focus on the most to drive them up to the next level. These are the agents who need coaching, training, mentoring, education, and they need to get the skills to go up to the next level to become tier 1 agents. So that's what you should be doing with these agents, is taking them up to tier 1. Next, we have our tier 3 agents. I call those the newbies, but they aren't all newbies. But this is where the newbies start, right? Newbies start as low producers, 1 to 3 sales per year. I estimated about 30% of your agents would be in tier 3, and they make up about 5% of your sales production. And so what you're doing with them is you're helping to guide them up to tier 2. So those are agents who really need to be in the office every day. They need to be learning from mentors. They need training. They need guidance. They need lots of accountability. Now, some of the agents in this group are not newbies. Some of them are low producers for another reason. For example, maybe they have a part-time job and this is just, something that they do on the side. Maybe it's a hobby for them. Maybe they don't have the skills. There could be many reasons. Maybe they've never been trained well. So there could be a lot of reasons why these particular agents are in tier 3. But these are the agents you really need to take a hard look at and decide, are they trending up? If their production is going up, we can help them get to level 2. If their production is going down, pretty soon they're going to drop into tier 4, right? The tier 4 agents are the non-producers. And I estimate at any given company, there's probably 10% of agents in that category unless you cut them. And there are many brokerage offices that run high producing offices, every year or maybe every quarter, they go through and they cut those tier 4 agents, right? Sometimes they even cut tier 3 agents. And that could be a good thing to possibly drop them if they're creating liability or they're costing you overhead, which is, a whole nother topic we won't get in today, but understanding your profitability and how much each agent is contributing or taking away from your bottom line is really critical in deciding which agents to invest in and continue moving them up, and which agents to say adios to and let them either make the decision to quit or, let them know this is not working for your brokerage, is not a good fit. Okay. Any questions? I don't see any questions, so I assume everybody's good still. One thing to remember when you're searching for agents is that your best agent is not even in business yet. Why is that? Because they are out there waiting for you to recruit them. They might not be in real estate. They might not be in sales, but it's your job to always be scouting, looking for that next great agent opportunity. The goal is that we have to always be recruiting. We have to target those top producers and others who fit into the culture. Now you're asking yourself, well, where do I find top producers? Where do I find agents that are the right fit for our culture and our values and our mission? Well, we're going to go over those in future sessions. That's why we have 10 modules, because it's just too much to cover in one module, right? But the important thing is that you know that you should always have your recruiting hat on. It's important to always be networking, build up your sphere, and follow up. Now, as a salesperson, right, you're a real estate salesperson, you put that hat on, you're looking for buyers, you're looking for sellers, and you are constantly thinking about how can I get buyers and sellers. As a brokerage owner, you take off the consumer salesperson hat, right, and you put on your hat of agent recruiting, operating your business at a higher level, and you're always looking for those agents, those right opportunities. So you want to find the newbies, and when you can't find them, you're going to produce your own newbies, right? So find newbies means real estate school people who are already getting into the business, and then producing newbies. Those are people that you meet or people that you attract who are not even yet in real estate. And then constantly recruiting, and then of course retaining. And retention is a continuous cycle, because I think the statistics are it costs 4 times as much money to go out and get a new customer as it does to just keep your existing customers. So retention is a really important part of recruiting, because the more we retain, the less we need to recruit, right? Okay, any questions? Everybody enjoying it so far? Getting some good notes here, I hope. Next, we're going to talk about agent motivation. How important is it that we find the right agents based on what their motivation is? Hi, Ann. Ann Banyo says yes. Okay, awesome. Paul says, yep. Okay, great. We got another little poll for you. What is your agent's primary motivation? Is it A, increased revenue? Is it B, an attractive culture? Or is it C, training and mentoring? So what do you think agents are looking for when they come to your brokerage? I'll give you everybody just a minute to answer that. Okay, great. All right, so far we have increased revenue winning with 60%, training and mentoring winning with 40%, which is great. Oh, now we're at 50-50. I think we need a tiebreaker. Okay, if you haven't done the poll yet, go ahead and answer the poll. Let us know what you think. what is the primary motivation of agents who are looking to join a new brokerage? Are they looking for A, increased revenue, B, attractive culture, or C, training and mentoring? Now, of course, the easy answer would be all of those, but we have to pick just one. Okay, great. We're going to go ahead and end the poll now. We have 57% with increased revenue, 43% training and mentoring. So that was a great poll. Thank you, everybody, for participating. So now let's talk about, what do agents seek? We have, of course, the money. Agents are always worried about their pay. As a matter of fact, some agents are so worried that they will run over to a brokerage that offers them 100% commission, where they don't have any leads or any way to even make a commission. So obviously that's at the top of the mind of every agent. Whether or not it's realistic, that is something that a lot of people think about, especially those newer in business or those seasoned agents. Let's look at a few other things on here. I'm going to turn the whiteboard on real quick. Oh, Elisa says, training and mentoring help to create increased revenue. Exactly, right on point. And Ann says, yeah, nobody voted for culture. Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'm going to turn my little red marker here. Okay, so the first thing we got here is brand. Is brand important? There are many trains of thought about this, but one of the things I did notice, now I've always been an independent broker, and I don't want to be a franchise. That's just my choice. I enjoy the independent side, but I will tell you that I do get asked a lot, what brand are you with? Or they say, what company are you with? By both agents and consumers. So brand recognition is something that is very important. And brand recognition in business allows you to charge a higher price because of the credibility that's already built into the brand. So that is something important that, we can't deny. Even if you're a franchise like me, you need to work to build your franchise brand and know that it's more recognizable if you build the brand, or if you have a known brand in your community. Number 2 is culture. We'll be talking about that in just a minute. But that is such an important part of what agents seek. However, they generally will not say that to you, or they won't say that out loud because they don't know that's what they're seeking. Okay, we're going to talk about that more in just a few minutes. Now, training is something really important for agents, and many of them, especially the new ones, know that they do need training. As a matter of fact, I've heard new agents say, I don't even care about the commission split. I just want to go somewhere where I can be mentored and trained to become a top producer. So if you offer that training either as we'll call it a system, a standard system, or it's part of the overall package. In other words, agents looking into your company, they're looking in from the outside, and they see that you have a whole bunch of top producers, you have your signs out everywhere, you're on the move. So that is part of what could attract an agent to you. Not that they're going to necessarily have a training class, but they will be trained because of the culture you've created of top producers. But of course, mentoring, education is very important too. And location. Now, believe it or not, we as brokerage owners might not think location is important, but I've heard from so many agents who said they switched brokerages, or they decide to choose a brokerage because it was close by their house or close by the community that they wanted to serve. So that actually is a very big factor, especially if you live in a metro area where there's just so much traffic, right? Another one is perks. Perks, what do you offer instead of just outright money? And we're going to talk about that in a few minutes too. And then last is growth. I save that to last because normally when an agent starts, they're worried about training and leads and making money. But as they mature in their career, they do start thinking about growth, especially when you see they're spending, working nights and weekends and holidays, and they barely have time for their family. And, they're working, but they have nothing saved up for the future. They start thinking about career growth, about maybe moving into management or opening their own brokerage and, partnering with you. So that's something to think about for the future as well. Okay, any questions, comments? Okay, I turn the whiteboard off. Now, as I said, here are 4 things that annoy your employees. Now, this is my friend Sarita Mabin. She's super awesome. You can follow her on Facebook and all those social media things, and she actually has a newsletter. So this came out in her newsletter recently called 4 Things That Annoy Your Employees. But I thought it was very relevant to real estate, even though we have independent contractors generally, right? Number 1, lack of accountability. Number 2, lack of appreciation. Number 3, lack of direction. Number 4, lack of belonging. Now, the funny thing is, that's all about culture and training and growth. None of that has to do with money. And it is funny that money isn't always a number one motivator as we think, or even as we say. Even when you see agents who are saying money is the number one motivator, it often isn't if we could dig a little deeper into the psychological aspect. And you will see that in study after study, that the feeling of being wanted, being needed, belonging, being part of the team of something bigger is always more important to employees than the bottom line, the money. So be sure to think about that when you're recruiting your agents, when you're sitting down with them. Now, what does your agent compensation plan look like? There are many different types of compensation plans. There's percentage, flat fee, hourly, salary, bonuses, incentives. Make sure that you're starting out with the right compensation plan. And if not, it's not too late to change it, but make sure that you take some time and be thoughtful if you change your plan. And you probably want to get input from your agents and find out how it's going to impact them. Let's keep going. I want to talk about that a little bit more, okay? The first thing that we often think about is benefits. And we say, as a brokerage owner, we provide all these benefits. The number one benefit, of course, is a paycheck or, a great commission split where we're very generous and they keep most of their commission. And then we talk about, we have all these tech tools, blah, blah, blah. But actually what we're talking about a lot of times is features, not benefits. So let me give you an example. A feature is we provide 10 tech tools. That's a great feature. A benefit is you can increase your business 10% because of the tech tools that we provide you. So how does it impact me as an agent? And you want to speak to their pain point. What are they dealing with that they want changed or resolved? And maybe you can perhaps provide a 45-day guarantee and say, if this doesn't provide this benefit and solve your problem within 45 days of joining our brokerage, then, you can leave, or, we'll provide you this or that. So that's something to think about too. It's a concept that's often, construed incorrectly in business. This is my queen quote for today. It says, lead with value. Now, there's 2 different kinds of values that we should talk about, because it can be a little confusing because we've already said value alignment, right? Okay, so the first type of value, which is what I'm talking about here, value means what you're getting for your money. In other words, you go shopping and you see something that's on sale, It's normally $20, but it's on sale for $15. You think it provides great value because you're getting more for your money. So value is what people feel they're getting in exchange for what they're paying. The second type of value, which we'll talk about later today, is your morals and ethics, okay? But when I say lead with value, what does that mean? It means provide something great to the agents before you worry about collecting money from them. Do you have to break even? Yes. Do you have to make a profit? Yes, but provide the value first. In other words, help them meet their goals, not yours. Be consumer focused on your consumers. Who are your consumers? The agents, right? Those are your clients. Help them meet their goals. What are some of their goals? Let's take a look here. Now, this is based on a little bit of my research, but number one, they want to be profitable immediately. Number two, they want to make more money annually. That speaks to you as a brokerage owner, doing your due diligence and investigating your competitors. Know your math. Know what your competing brokerages are offering. Know what their rates are. Know what their caps are. How do you help agents accomplish their goals? Through goal setting, right? That's what they want. More than anything, they want somebody who will help them set goals, accomplish them, and hold them accountable throughout the year. Believe it or not, agents also want to save for retirement because in our industry, there really is no retirement plan, and people get burned out and they leave when they look around and see they really haven't created anything for the future for their family. And lastly, work less and achieve more. These are the goals that I have found are most important to many real estate agents, and yet in our brokerages, we don't often address these. By the way, let's go back to number one, be profitable immediately. What that means is show them how fast they can make their first transaction and help them get there. Because the more success they have when they first come in, especially if they're a newbie agent, in other words, they just got their license, the more likely they will be to stay loyal and committed. And success breeds success. So when they come in, they have their first success, then they feel confident that they can move on and continue to create more successes. How do you find out what agents want? It's simple. Get out in the field, interview agents, talk to them, find out what their needs are. All right, number three is attractive culture, creating that attractive culture that every agent wants to join. We have a little poll for you here. So our poll is, what is your company culture? Is your company culture ambitious and entrepreneurial? Is it more caring, thoughtful, and collaborative? Or have you not thought about it yet? Now, I know that we would tend to say, oh, it's both A and B, but that's not an option for a reason. The reason it's not an option is because we often are, we wear rose-colored glasses, right? As brokerage owners, we think our company is the best, we do everything correctly, but in reality, we're not. Others see us and they perceive something different than what we think about ourselves. And it's important to step out of our shoes, step into our agent's shoes, and what do they say about us and our company culture? Okay, we're going to go ahead and end the poll now, but 83% have chosen B, caring, thoughtful, and collaborative. 17% said they're unsure, haven't thought of it yet. Nobody said ambitious and entrepreneurial, which is fine. And let's keep going here and talk a little bit about what is culture. Culture is the atmosphere, the tone, the attitude that you have, whether it's intentional or unintentional. And as I said, it's not what you think it is. It's as perceived by others inside your organization or others outside looking in. Your culture is based upon your values, your mission, your vision statement. And this is why it is so critical to always start at the beginning of your company by crafting your mission and your vision and your values very carefully, and then make every decision based upon that. For example, if you say your value at your brokerage is honesty, and yet you have 2 agents there that are borderline dishonest and are constantly getting complaints from other agents and other brokerage because of their gray area, sort of unethical actions, then you really need to reevaluate, are you upholding your value at your company? Your value of being honest and showing integrity. Because if you are allowing behavior that violates your values, your morals, your ethics, then guess what? That really is your new value system. And that's what others perceive, right? So culture is very, very important. It is the foundation. The vision, mission, and values are your foundation for your entire brokerage, and they set the tone. And it all comes back to your leadership, right? As a leader, what do you do? How do you act? How do you value others? And it comes from the top down. So it begins with your leadership style. It's important to care about others, listen, support them. I know one of the things that agents often do complain about is their lack of broker availability. We see this in the social media groups. They're always going in and posting questions that the response should have been, well, just ask your broker and see what your broker says. But it's important to be available, accessible, approachable, and responsive. Now, perhaps you have stepped out of that role and you have a manager doing that. And if so, that's fine. It's important to have a leader that can take that role. The values are honesty and integrity, right? For example, and to have clear expectations, sit down with your agents at onboarding, which we will be able to do that. I will show you how to do that in that section, and provide that positive guidance. So what is your company's attraction rating? What would your agents say about you? Would they say you have teamwork and caring? Would they say you have an entrepreneurial spirit? Would they pick up on a collaborative vibe, right, or atmosphere? Would they feel your positive energy at the company and have a go-getter attitude? What would they say if they were on the outside looking into your company for agents that you're trying to recruit? Or what would your agents who are already at your company say? All right, last section. We got a few minutes here. We might go a few minutes over time, so stay with me. This is really great information. Number 4 is our value alignment. It's important to find the right value fit. And why is that so important? Because we mentioned at the beginning, the agents you have to terminate are generally not because of lack of production, but because they didn't fit the right values at your company, and you didn't interview them properly and screen them up front. You just hired anybody because you need more agents, and then after they get there, you wish you wouldn't have hired them because they weren't the right value fit. Now, again, when we're talking about value fit in this context, it means your morals, your ethics, and what's important at your company, right? One of the right fits you can find out is personality characteristics. We all love the DISC test, which gives, basically pegs people into one of 4 quadrants based on their personality style. Now, if they're a salesperson, you might want a certain personality style. I would say influential would be a natural salesperson. If they're going to be your transaction coordinator, probably somebody who's conscientious, somebody who's a manager and a recruiter, maybe a more dominant style, and maybe your office administrator, maybe a more steady style. But it's important to start out with the right fit for that person to make sure they're not frustrated and you're not frustrated. So who are you seeking? Now, I think this is in your notes, so you don't have to write it down. But here are some things that you might want to list in your criteria. Now, some of these are things you must have, and some of these are things that are nice to have. We call those your wants, your needs and wants. So make sure that you know what you are looking for in terms of agents. Production. Is it okay if they're low producers? A values match. We just talked about that. your geographic area that they're in, their availability. Are you okay hiring part-timers who have a day job? The teamwork and attitude, which is really, really crucial. What about their niche that they serve or their experience level? For example, do they work with first-time home buyers, luxury homes, VA loans? That's important because you might want to have a well-rounded brokerage. Maybe speaking more than one language is important in your geographic area. And lastly, but not least, what about their motivation level? And that is something, that is something that you can't teach and you can't coach, but a person is motivated from within. You can help show them how to be motivated or maybe help them discover their why, but they really have to be motivated internally. So how do you find the right agents and what they're looking for? With market research, right? Asking, listening. And here's an example of a client survey. You can administer that to your current agents or soon-to-be agents and make sure that you know what their top 3 pain points are. Okay, I talked a little bit about what agents want. I'm going to look at the top 3 pain points briefly, but this is based on my own experience and my own observations. The top 3 pain points for agents. Number 1, they need a steady stream of business. Most of them are like us, closing a transaction. They already have the money spent, and yet they're worried about their next transaction because they don't have enough in the pipeline and they're not sure where their next paycheck is coming from. So which leads us to number 2, more certainty in their paycheck, right? And then number 3, this might sound basic, but health insurance is so important. And that is the number 1 reason why an agent would stay full-time at their other company instead of coming over, right? Is health insurance followed by, certainty in paycheck, steady stream of business, and all those things. And that is what is holding a lot of agents back from taking the leap from part-time to full-time at your company. So now it's on you, broker. What are you going to do? Are you going to step up to the plate and meet the challenges head on? Yep, you're a leader, and that's what you're going to do. We also talk about filling their agent's pipeline. This helps them with their lead generation. Lead generation helps them with those first 2 problems of number 1, no steady stream of business, and number 2, uncertainty in paycheck. You as a brokerage owner can fill those gaps. We're going to look at this and explore this option in more detail in some of the future modules that we show you. But this is something to start thinking about. How can you fill those gaps for your agents? So, any questions today? I see we've got a lot of people on listening. Awesome. We're taking questions. Anybody have any questions, concerns? All right, we're going to keep going here. Well, for sticking with us through today's session, we do have a free gift for you. Woohoo! Who loves gifts and prizes? Yes, we all like to get something nice. And my gift to you today is a list of 82 books. That's right, 82 books. If you read 1 a week, you could get through it in less than 2 years. Now, most of us aren't going to read these because we just don't have the time. But you can see there's the headphones there. Many of these are audiobooks. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the files for you. Sandy Warner, I came in late. Is there more conversation around compensation? Oh, thank you for asking that, Sandy. Actually, in this session and in the future sessions, we're not going to talk much about compensation simply because I already have a 2-hour session that dives into it very detailed, specifically about compensation. And if you go look at our online courses, it's under the section called Build Your Brokerage Empire. It's module number 5, agent recruiting, production, and statistics and financials and all of that. So that it's covered in very big detail there, including an Excel spreadsheet for you. So thanks for asking. And if you have any other questions, I'll be happy to help you offline. You can just email me, reach out to me on Facebook, whatever. But let me give you your free gift right now. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing the worksheet. And I'm going to share the, we'll call it the book list. Okay. Brokerage Owner Books and Resources is what it's called. And all right, I went ahead and made that available for everybody who stayed on till the end today. Hats off to you. Awesome job. Hope you learned a lot here. And okay, Sandy says, thanks, Regina. Yay, you're welcome. As a matter of fact, I might just go ahead and why don't I just put up a link to that for you, Sandy, okay? So everybody, give me a minute while you're downloading that. I'm going to find the link to this session and put it up for you. Okay, so this is okay, you only see the poll. Okay, I'm going to stop the poll. Okay, does everybody see the file sharing now? Oh, Janice, thank you, Regina, for another great session. Yeah, woohoo! Okay, check and see if you have the link now for the Brokerage Owner Books and Resources. And in addition, look in the chat right here. Marquez answer. I'm going to go ahead and set a sticky message here too. Okay, so I also stuck the message up at the top, and which is the Start Your Brokerage Step 5 Agents. And basically it is a 2-hour session, and we dive into the agent compensation plans and how to make sure that you are, receiving net profit from each of your agents, that you're not spending more than you're receiving from them. And then also we talk a little bit about, the same thing, the 80-20 rule, how to determine which agents are not profitable for you and which ones to cut. Okay. Okay, everybody got the book list. Yay. Okay, awesome. Great job, everybody. Oh, one more thing I do want to share. The entire masterclass for brokerage owners now. If you click the link that I gave you, that class is $99. Now I have a better deal for you because I actually have a series of 12 courses. You can have online access to all of them. And I'm going to give you a half price offer right now. So let me go ahead and put that up. Okay, so there you go. Go ahead and click on the button that says Discover, and that will give you a half price offer for the entire series of 12, which, if you want to do the $99 class, that's a great value. This is an even better value. With each of the 12 courses, you get online access at your convenience. You get activity worksheets, just like the one for today's session. You get bonus content for everything. There's a bonus, which is so awesome. And resources, which are books that you can listen to, learn from, and keep going on your journey and keep moving forward and continue building a profitable brokerage. Okay, everybody good? Let's talk about the next module. This will be next week. As you know, we come to you live every Wednesday morning. Unless you're on the East Coast, it's afternoon, right? And our module next week is going to be the compensation package value. So we will be diving into that as well next week. And then we'll be talking about the farm team, marketing, and always be recruiting. And then we have more sessions on onboarding and things like that as well. Okay. Okay, thank you everybody for joining us today. We really appreciate you staying tuned with us today for Recruit and Retain Top Agents. And okay, Sandy says the link takes you to the home page. Where do I go from there? Okay, let me just, it should have taken you to the section that said Agent Recruitment. But if you click on, you can scroll down and look for this called Brokerage Step 5 Agent Recruitment. If you scroll down and look for that, you'll see that in there. Let me know if you find it. If not, you can go ahead and email me or reach out to me as well. Any more questions? Okay, everybody. Any questions, please reach out to me. I'm available. Oh, Paul says masterclass cost. Okay, oh, you got the step 5, Sandy. Okay, good. So the link I gave you for the masterclass is download files, stop file sharing. Let me go over here. Yeah, so if you click on the link that says discover, it actually, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, that was the wrong link. Ah, okay. Okay, so hold on, everybody. I apologize. That was the wrong link, and you are correct about that. I see what you're saying. So let me give you the correct link for the half off on that, okay? All right, the normal price is $590. Today's special is $295. So I'm going to go ahead and put that up there. Okay, I just put up a bit.ly link. I'm going to set a sticky message too. Okay. Does that work better? Okay, so that should give you the price of 12 courses. I just put a new link up there and it's stuck up to the top also. It's a bit.ly link. 12 course discount, $295. Okay, all right, you got it. Okay, good. Okay, so any other questions? Who is excited to go back to their office and start making some changes to recruit more agents, bring more profitability to your company, impact people's lives for the long term, and more importantly, build a lasting legacy for your brokerage? Okay, awesome. Sandy says enrolled. Woohoo! Great job, everybody. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Anne, Paul, Shakita, and who else do we have? Michaela, Janice, Elisa, Brian, and so many others. Let's see if I got everybody's name in there. Okay, Lauren. Thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your busy workday to work on your business. Take off your salesperson hat, put on your business owner hat, grow your business. You're on the right track. Keep going strong. Hit it out of the ballpark this week. Woohoo! We're rooting for you. And next week when we circle back, I can't wait to hear some of your success stories about your brokerage. All right, everybody, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great week. Bye-bye.